throughout the 2 games in this region. Middle to bottom of the lineup coming through for the Wildcats.
Waldschmidt swings at the first pitch and fouls it off for strike 1. 363 now on the season with 14 home runs. 46 runs batted in, leading the team in OPS and on-base percentage. 4 for 8 in the regional with that home run. 4 runs batted in. 1-1.
One of the more fun players to watch in college baseball. A great story coming back from adversity, a knee injury, and not missing a beat, actually getting better through that rehab process. We got a chance to talk to him yesterday as well, and you can tell this game means a lot to him. Be huge for him to get this regional win and move on to the Supers.
3-1 the count. If you're not familiar with the story, suffered an ACL tear playing on the Cape last June 28th. For Cotuit, was 5 for 10 in 4 games played on the Cape. So he was locked in early, and he's locked in early here. Sends this one to right center field. It is hit well. It is in the gap, and what a play! Adam Pottinger lays out for the catch for the first out of the game.
Adam Pottinger has been known to cover a lot of real estate in the outfield, and you love the energy, matching the energy as he gets the job done, robbing another extra base hit from Waldschmidt.
Fantastic play by the senior from Deerfield, Illinois, all defensive team in the Missouri Valley Conference. Add that to his highlight reel, which is already pretty long. 1 down in the first.
He got a great jump on the ball. That ball coming off the bat, the right-handed bat of Waldschmidt, tailing away from him. He's able to track it down. Knew the wall was coming up pretty quickly, sacrificing his body. Love it.
1-1 the count to Emilian Petrie. 304 on the season. Junior plays second base, heading the count 2-1. Petrie, 52 runs batted in. He's 2 for 9 in the regional with a couple of RBI. 2-2.
That's the unique thing about the game of baseball, Eric. You can be out there and get amped up in this environment. You're the underdog, the visiting team, and you get a ball hit to you as a former center fielder. You're amped up, the adrenaline is flowing. You get a ball hit to you, you make a huge play like that. And unlike any other sport where you can get the ball again the next time down the court in basketball, you can get another pass thrown to you as a receiver. He might not have another ball hit to him the rest of the game, so you got to temper down that adrenaline for every batter.
If that's the case, he's gone out on top here in this game. Nick Mingione in his 8th season as the Kentucky head coach, 258 wins, 2-0 in the regional round. That second game of the regional has been a bit of a stumbling block in the past, but not this time. After they got a win over Illinois yesterday, 6-1 the final. Trey Poozer, outstanding on the mound, 7 innings of work, 5 hits, 7 strikeouts, and that really sets Kentucky up. They've got their bullpen at their disposal, with the exception probably of Ryan Hagenow, who came out in relief yesterday. So things are set up well for this Kentucky team, trying to advance on to the Super Regionals with a win here today.
We'll see if they'll stay with their game plan that has been successful this season with the runners on base. As you see right there, going to check the runner, errant throw.
He's going to go to third. Ball still rolling around down in right field and foul ground. Petrie heading over to third, sliding in safely for Kentucky. Indiana State has been good defensively. They committed their first error of the tournament in their first game today. Make it 2 errors. Throwing error here.
Yeah, it looked like he was leaning just a bit. 24 stolen bases on the season for Petrie, but you can see great heads-up base running. He picked up the ball, the errant throw, then immediately picked up Coach Mingione at third base. Did not break stride around second. Easily slides in. Now 90 feet away from the first run of the game.
1-0 the count to Devin Burks. 2-0. Burks was 0 for 4 yesterday. Was hit by a pitch in the Illinois game. 2 for 7 in the regional with a couple of walks and that hit by pitch. And 2 runs scored. And an early conference on the mound here. And here,
third base, never break stride. So young baseball players out there, how you read the ball, how you have a technique on the base path is key. He epitomizes that right there.
sacrifice fly here for Burks as the throw comes to the plate. Petrie is safe, 1-0 Kentucky. The error is costly. Burks with the sac fly to put the Wildcats in front.
And that's how quickly this Wildcats team can jump on you, make you pay for the errors and miscues. Immediately happens for them as Petrie gets to third base on the errant throw, secures the out in foul territory. Not sure a strong enough throw would get the speedy Petrie at home as he tags up for the first run of the game.
Ball one to Nick Lopez, the designated hitter. Lopez 358 now in the season, 6 homers, 50 RBI. That one is sent down to first. Glove there by Hernandez. He'll head over to the base for out number 3. Hernandez and Sears had the big shot, or one of the big shots, in the win over Illinois earlier today.
Yeah, had a grand slam and a double in this regional so far. Feels like maybe the momentum from that grand slam will push him for some success in this game. They're going to need his bat.
Starts at the top of the lineup, though. Diaz riding a 31-game hitting streak as he comes to the plate to get things going here for the Sycamores. 44 wins on the season, 22-5 in the Valley. They were regular season champs. Kentucky, of course, regular season champions in the SEC. Head-to-head here. Spot in the Super Regionals on the line for Kentucky. Indiana State needs a win here today to force a decisive final game here in the Lexington Regional. Moore misses down low for ball one to Diaz, 357 on the season, second on the team in hitting. Good pop, 18 homers, 55 runs batted in. It's 1-1.
Look at his numbers and you think, we've talked about this throughout the whole regional, you think he should be in the middle of the lineup, but I like the idea of him being the table setter, and he gets the job done again. Puts on the brakes around first base, but a laser down third base line. Unfortunate for him, that ball ricocheted right into the hands of Waldschmidt off the wall, but watch this. Just gets past the third baseman Daly too quickly. How it ricochets makes it an easier play for Waldschmidt to keep him at first base.
Diaz wasting no time. It's now a 32-game hitting streak for the junior shortstop. Down low for ball one to Parker Stinson. Stinson, the senior right fielder, 296 on the season, 15 home runs. As a team, Indiana State with 106 home runs, including 5 at Kentucky Proud Park this weekend. Out of play, it's 1-1.
Stinson swung the bat extremely well in the game earlier, had a double, scored 2 runs. He laced the ball down the right field line for that extra base hit. Part of that big third inning, scoring 7 runs.
Went to the plate in that 7-run third inning to break it open for the Sycamores. 2-2. So now the shift is on with a 2-2 count as the third baseman Daly has run over, and he's between first and the second baseman Petrie. That's Daly with his heels on the outfield grass.
And you see that defensive positioning. There's no threat of a bunt being dropped down the third base line, and many viewers may not realize that when you employ the shift, the third baseman does go over to what would be kind of the second baseman position. They leave the shortstop at his natural position, not just shifting everybody to their left.
there
I
is
always
the third
wondered
baseman.
about how that third baseman feels in that position, because normally the guy that plays third base is your normal quick twitch, quick reaction guy, because the ball jumps on him pretty quickly. But the versatility of these guys to be able to make that adjustment is always cool to see.
They work outside for ball 3, 3-2. Moore 8 wins on the season, 70 strikeouts, but a team high 42 walks. Has run into control trouble at times. Gets the strikeout here, one away.
There's the confidence in the secondary pitch that you see from Moore. Breaking ball on a 3-2 count. Catches the corner. Great frame by Burks behind the plate for the first out.
Here's the top hitter for this Indiana State team, Luis Hernandez, at 365 on the season. Lays off for ball 1. Hit his 23rd home run of the season. For the moment, was tied for the team lead with Mike Sears, but then Sears hit the grand slam later in the game against Illinois today for his 24th. 2-0. And Burks will out to have a conversation with Moore.
Yeah, this is a good trip to the mound. 2 consecutive batters. He's gotten behind in. Maybe the words from Burks there is, hey, just trust me. Focus on the glove. We don't need to dance around these guys. No need to be afraid. You've got great fielders, 7 great defenders behind you to make some plays.
Ground ball, stabbed by the shortstop. Smith with the flip to second, over to first, scooped up for the double play. Smith. Hannah's trying to get this Indiana State program to the Supers for a second consecutive year. They did it last year by winning the Terre Haute Regional. Ended up needing to go to TCU because of a scheduling conflict in Terre Haute to play the Super Regional in Fort Worth, where they fell to the Horned Frogs. So they've been in this position before. He talked about it a little bit after the first game today, Danon, about their MO in recent years in tournaments. Their pitching gets better as the tournament goes along. They've got that kind of long view. Now, you don't love to go out there on day one and lose like they did to Illinois, but they ran into a red-hot pitcher in Jack Crowder from Illinois. But this is a team that's been in this position before, and they know how to handle it when they're pushed back against the wall.
And they were blessed with some really good fortune in what they were able to get from Brennan Cutts earlier today. Not sure you really expected that. You hoped for it from the Valley Pitcher of the Year. But to get through game 1 and 2 and then have the luxury of having him available and his top stuff as you get a strikeout with the high heat there from Gilly. There you see Cutts, amazing effort earlier today. Gets to chill out now, going 9 innings.
Anytime you get a complete game, this one is crushed to right. Forget about it. Ryan Nicholson goes deep again. His second home run of the regional. 2-0 Kentucky.
Nostradamus strikes again. We highlight this kid for a reason. He had a big fly yesterday and takes the first pitch fastball deep over the right field wall. A no-doubter. Knew it as soon as it left its bat. Nicholson with his second bomb of this region.
Team high 20th home run of the season for the grad student, 58 RBI. That also leads the team, and it's 2-0 Kentucky. Ball 1 to McCarthy.
You see McCarthy in the batter's box as you see the high fives in the dugout for Nicholson. But McCarthy in the batter's box, extremely close to home plate on that first pitch. Trying to mess with the visuals of Gilly.
McCarthy 2 for 6, 3 runs scored in the regional. Danon popped up. Playable for Urdaneta. In the air for a while, pulls it down, 2 down here in the second. So that is 82 home runs for Kentucky on the season, 3 in this regional. Again, the extra base hits. Coming into this game, 11 of their 21 hits were for extra bases in the first 2 games of the regional. To your point, you've talked about it all weekend. Kentucky is a team that takes pride in beating you in a variety of ways, whatever it takes that day. However the game unfolds in front of them, they'll take advantage, and they've been able to barrel up some shots without question now with 12 extra base hits.
And that's a testament to head coach Nick Mingione and his effect on this program. You can tell his DNA is all over their success. And like, Eric, you gotta believe in somebody's view and their vision for a program. That's why you have success, to get these guys to buy in 1 through 9 in the lineup, the pitching staff as well.
This one is hammered to right by James McCoy. Moving over is Stinson. McCoy will stop at first, and he's got a 2-out single. Well, to your point, James McCoy was 0 for 21 entering the NCAA tournament. He put in extra work specifically with Nick Mingione. And whatever they worked on has worked, because that is his 4th hit of the regional. He's now 4 for 7. His first hit to break that slide was a home run.
Yeah, it tells you about the trust, the understanding, and just being receptive to coaching. I mean, you think about, like, this team coming into this tournament had played over 50 games. And now you're in a position where, because things are not working, instead of getting down on yourself, you know, trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, you are receptive to coaching, and now it's producing dividends. That's a credit to the trust.
2-0 the count to the number 9 hitter, the senior shortstop, Grant Smith. Smith at 257, 5 homers, 34 runs batted in, 1 for 4 in the regional with an RBI. A couple of runs scored as well. And now another trip to the mound here for Indiana State, and it's going to be a pitching change. Back-to-back balls to the number on a Sunday night. Here's Jacob Pruitt on for the Sycamores.
Yeah, Jacob Pruitt making his 13th appearance, his 2nd time in this regional. Wasn't as sharp as you would have liked to see in his first stint, but he's got some good stuff. Fastball, slider, fastball 94 to 96. You see his numbers, 30 hits, 55 strikeouts in 37 innings. I think we need to send that picture we came back over to Mark Stoops, the head coach of Kentucky football. Hey, we got a recruit here. He's shirtless. I can make up the resume, Eric, for him. Right there.
Let's hear it. Let's hear the Danon Hughes evaluation.
All right, we got a big kid, big for his age, still has a lot to grow, probably a tight end, but maybe be able to move to offensive tackle because of his footwork. Dedicated, tough, has no regard for his body, no ego. There you go.
I mean, no notes. No notes. That was perfect. Smith walks. Mitch Hannah said after Pruitt's appearance in game 1, he was erratic, and the numbers show that. He had 3 walks in his inning of 2/3 of work against Illinois. Back to the top of the order, here's Waldschmidt, who was robbed of extra bases by Pottinger his first time. Ground ball to the shortstop, could be 2. They only need 1, though, because Daly struck out to start the. So far, Nick Mingione's team is taking care of business here in this regional, knocking off Western Michigan 10-8. They had an 8-0 lead in that game and held on 7 players with at least 1 run batted in. And then the 6-1 win over Illinois that we talked about earlier, with Trey Pooser going 7, giving up 5 hits and 7 strikeouts, ensuring that they'd have a pretty fresh bullpen for this matchup here tonight. There's a line shot off the glove of the third baseman. And they call a foul ball, I think. That's third base umpire Brian Miller pointing to foul ground. I thought Daly maybe had gloved that in fair territory.
And there you see the umpire, third base umpire Brian Miller, says he's right on top of it, and basically says even though Daly started out in fair territory, that's what he's giving an explanation to head coach Mitch Hannes there. Started off in fair territory. The ball was in foul territory when it was contacted by Daly. That's a tough call to make right there, because Daly's pre-pitch positioning is well behind third base. So just to be able to get a glove on it, you would think that maybe he would be in fair territory and the ball would be in fair territory. Let's see it from this angle. We'll see where he is right there. Ooh, there's a chance. There's a chance that that would have stayed fair. It was curving, but there's not going to be a review.
Yeah, obviously not a reviewable play because it was called a foul ball, so dead ball, you can't reverse that. I think Hannes wanted an explanation of how could you call that a foul ball, especially such a tough call for the third base umpire, but he's scrambling for cover himself.
Yeah. Yeah, I would initially think on that if he gets it's a pretty hard line drive. So you would think that if the third baseman even got a glove on it, if he wasn't playing right on the bag, that it would be a fair ball. But Brian Miller was on top of it, emphatic with his call.
I got to tell you, you know who has one of the best seats in the house for that look? Mitch Hannes, because they're down in that first base dugout. Yeah. They are the home team today, but they're in the first base dugout. Kentucky keeping their usual third base home dugout, even though they're the visiting team. So he has a look right down that line. After the ground out by Sears, here's Dom Listy. 4 hits in the regional. Was 0 for 4 earlier today, but was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded.
And you see his numbers, 4 for 13 in this regional. 4 of those hits came in their second game. So he had all of his offensive production, but he's still been a pesky hitter in the batter's box.
He was 4 for 5 in that elimination game against Western Michigan yesterday, and he's aboard with a walk with 1 down here in the second.
The next batter for Indiana State is the catcher, number 5, Graham McGill.
As we've seen, Indiana State can put some runs on the board, scoring 19 in the last 2 games. I almost want the pitcher to step off. Can the pitcher step off so we can just see how long this lasts? Instead, it's chopped foul.
And that's a picture of being relaxed at the ballpark right there.
Oh, and now, like, he's about ready to float away. Here we go.
He's going to attach. Oh, he's going to. Oh.
Now, here's the key.
He's going to attach it to his hat.
You got to go right back to work, and that is so unappetizing. We did not need to zoom in and be in focus on that shot.
He gives the head nod. He knew the camera was on him.
Oh, yeah. 0-2 the count. Do the 0-2 again. What I would like to see is Nick Lopez attempt that giant bubble, because there's a big giant risk factor with that. That thing pops. That thing gets on that handlebar mustache. Whoa. Are we two-tone with the stash today?
Yes. That is attention to detail.
Wait a minute. Nick was all blue for day 1. He was all gray for day 2. So now he's gone with the half and half.
It's me, Mario. There you go. There's a reference there. A Nintendo reference.
Swung on and missed. Ball bounces out of the glove of Burke. So Listy was on the move. He steals second. 2 down as McGill is to have a stylist.
Yeah.
There's no way you're looking in the mirror and you're getting that perfectly placed. I mean, the distribution under his nostrils was exactly even on that blue and the gray mustache.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. This is not in the notes, but I feel like the stylist has to be another player.
Okay.
Likely a pitcher.
Why do you say that?
Maybe we'll get a chance to find that out.
Right there.
I'm going to go with Hagenow.
Why do you say pitcher?
I just feel like that's a pitcher thing. Like that would be something that a pitcher would dive into. Somebody that's in the bullpen, never knows when he's going to get in the game, has a lot of time on his hands. You wouldn't trust that to a freshman or a sophomore, so it has to be somebody that still contributes. So I'm going to go with like Hagenow.
Any one of those guys look like I would not trust them with coloring a coloring book, let alone my mustache.
The usual suspects right there. Kaiser Soze. Which one is Kaiser?
Are we going with the top of the fuzzy pink hat down? Like we're actually flipping a little style here.
Yeah.
We're almost making it look like a fedora. That's fouled off.
Yeah, I don't know if the flexing is, nah. Got to hold on to that one.
2-1 to Pottinger. Golfs it foul, it's 2-2. Adam at 302 now in the season, double digits home run with 10. He's homered here in this regional. 3 for 11. Listy at second with 2 down. Good fight by Adam.
Pottinger's done a nice job. We saw the defensive web jam in the first inning, but he's swung the bat really well in this regional. They have to drive this ball to left center field.
Lays off, the count's now full.
Well, Mason Moore has tried to go down and in against the left-handed bats with that off speed. See if he'll go to the well one more time.
That's popped up. Looked like it was ball 4, but playable for Nicholson. Just in the foul ground. He's got it in other regionals outside of ours. So it's going to be a long, entertaining Sunday night. Some of the games in this regional final round: Georgia, Georgia Tech, LSU, UNC, Mississippi State, Virginia, Coastal against Clemson. This is a ground ball right side by Petrie leading things off. The flip to the pitcher covering. 1 down here in the 3rd. What else have we got coming up here? I mean, up and down Louisiana, Texas A&M.
Yeah, that should be
great
a fun
games.
one.
Yeah, we got some great games on the docket tonight.
You've had multiple discussions with squeeze play. It is essential that all the viewers dive into squeeze play. Now, will you upload or download? There you go. Are you a download guy or are you uploading?
Well, if I'm uploading, that means I'm providing material to them, which I guess technically I'm doing by just talking and doing a game with you. They may be with us right now, so we say hello. We never know when they're going to dip into our game. If I'm downloading, I got to be honest, I'm locked in on this game. My downloading is sitting back and watching it post-game for 2, 3, 4 hours. You just can't go to bed after doing a game. You know, you're locked in. Here's Burks. Good bunt. Throw to first. In time. Close. I don't think Burks is going to call for the challenge or suggest the call for the challenge. 2 down.
Well, what a play by Mike Sears at third base. I thought once this was dropped down, there was no chance of getting the Speedy Burks, but you could see right there, quick transfer, strong throw by Sears, gets him by a half a step. Man, that was a pretty bunt.
And a prettier play by Sears to throw to Hernandez for the out. And you saw first base umpire Richard Riley had the right call after slowing things down. Had him by less than a half a step. Here's Nick Lopez. Lopez goes the other way. That will get down for a base hit. His second hit of the regional. He's aboard with 2 down here in the top half of the 3rd inning.
Magic of the mustache, getting his second hit of this regional. It's the half and half magic that gets it done in his second at bat of the game.
Unfortunately, the mustache may be magical, but oh no. Oh no.
He did
The
not.
bubble gum, oh boy.
He did not factor in the wind blowing 6 inches to the left, 6 inches to the right.
I think somebody told me that's Colby Frida. Oh no, he's getting right back up on the horse. Bless you.
Well, you had to get a new hat.
I thought for sure he was
yeah.
going to run off to the equipment manager and get a new hat. That looked like that hat was a casualty. This one is sent out to left field off the bat of Mitchell Daly. First and second now with 2 down for Kentucky.
These are not bad pitches from Pruitt here. This is just a nice job by Daly going down to get the breaking ball low, a little bit out of the zone, and just pokes it over the third baseman's head. His first hit of the game.
So back-to-back hits given up by Pruitt. And here is Nicholson, who hit a home run that was measured at 435 feet in the second inning. Now that Ryan Waldschmidt has that information, he might want to tell Ryan, you got to hit the weight room because you're 9 feet shorter than my home run from yesterday. 1-1.
You're going to look to work away from Nicholson here. Fastballs away, breaking ball away, off speed. If you go into his wheelhouse, that middle inner third, we've seen him make pitchers pay.
2-1. Ball 3.
There you can see Grant McGill behind the plate, still setting up on the outside. Hitters count here. Don't want to give up a free pass and load the bases. But you also don't want to give up another bomb.
Bases loaded, 2 down.
Now batting for the Wildcats, the center fielder, number 19.
Kentucky a chance to blow it open here in the 3rd inning. They've got the bases loaded. They're on top 2-0, and here comes Nolan McCarthy. McCarthy popped out to second his first time. 2 for 7 in the regional. Ball 1. And a conversation. Grant McGill will come out to talk to Pruitt. Cole Gilly got the start, went 1 2/3, gave up 2 hits.
Many fastballs, we still want to hit our spots, but let's not overcook it. Still got to challenge the bats. You have a defense behind you, 2 outs. Pitch like it's 2 outs, and let's see if you can get us out of this jam.
Hits him. That's something McCarthy will gladly wear. It brings in a run, and it's 3-0 Kentucky.
tough break for Pruitt here. You see the ball just gets away from him. No intention there, obviously, with bases loaded. Those are the miscues you can't afford to have against this kind of lineup.
McCoy singled his first time, and he takes ball one. Four for 7 in the regional. Big rip, 1-1. Pruitt battled injury this year. Mitch Hannah said he would have been one of their top pitchers were it not for an injury that sidelined him for over a month. Trying to find the zone here in relief with the bases loaded and the count now 3-1.
Matthew Pruitt here, just take a deep breath. Don't allow the outside noise to get you flustered.
Strike at the knees, 3-2. Called strike 3. Pruitt works out of the jam. Tomorrow we will know our 16 teams that make up the Super Regional round that will play at 8 sites next weekend, and then after that weekend 8 will remain for Omaha and the College World Series. Bottom of the third, ground ball for the leadoff man up the middle and through for Riley Ifrig, the freshman DH, getting his 3rd consecutive start at DH. He is now 6 for 19 on the season in 10 games played. He's had quite the regional.
Yes, he has. Stepping up on this stage tells you something about his makeup and allows head coach Mitch Hannah to kind of know what he's got for next season. So not that this is a tryout by any means, but you definitely take that into consideration as you prepare for 2025 season. Just like James McCoy coming along strong for the Wildcats, it's good to see Ifrig getting the job done there.
Strike 1 to Urdaneta. 254 on the season, 2 for 12 in the regional. Chop foul. Indiana State throughout the season, according to their head coach Mitch Hannah, has been trying to find the right fit at DH. They've worked a lot of guys in and out, and Ifrig did not start game 1. He did start game 2 at a sacrifice fly that brought in a run in his first plate appearance. Flied out to left his second, then walked and was hit by a pitch. And then earlier today, game 2 for him in this regional, 2 for 4 with a run and an RBI. Now add a hit to his total. One and two, the count to the number 9 hitter, Urdaneta. Two and two. I know it's early in the game, Dana. It feels important here. Urdaneta can have a productive out because you've got Diaz coming up and Stinson and Hernandez and Sears, and we know what those bats can do for the Sycamores. Can't make contact, though. Strikeout there for Moore, 1 away here in the third. I mentioned Randall Diaz. He has been a tough out here in the Lexington Regional.
So we talked about Jack Crowder and how effective he was. Well, that pitch up and in, you can see the bat speed, his ability to put the ball out of the park. Excellent power for a leadoff batter. Would you consider this situation? Ifrig on first base. It's like this game has been dominated by the Wildcats. They're only up 3-0. That could change pretty quickly with a guy like Diaz in the box.
Singled in the first to stretch his hitting streak to 32 games. He was 2 for 5 against Illinois. He's now 6 for 15 total in the regional. Oh, and 2. Ball 1. Diaz has really been coming on last month for the Sycamores. First team selection in the Valley. He was the MVC tournament MVP last year. Check on the runner at first. Ifrig is back. He's produced for a while, and he's producing some big moments for the Sycamores. The 1-2. Ground ball, another base hit for Randall Diaz. First and second with 1 out for the Sycamores here in the third.
Diaz, such a tough out. Breaking ball down and in. You can see Burks set up on the outside part of the plate. That came down and in. He's able to get through it, poke it in the left field for his second hit of the ball game. Parker Stinson has really gotten some quality swings. He struck out with the backwards K in the first inning, but he's a danger from that left side.
Sends one to the first baseman, gloved there by Nicholson. Stops it from heading down the line for extra bases and saves a run. 2 down.
A nice job by the left-handed first baseman there. Nicholson makes it look easy. Opts to get the sure out. Smart move there, but doesn't hesitate in getting back to third base.
Meanwhile, a ground ball will end the inning, so they were that close to getting on the board. Instead, it's still 3-0 Kentucky after 3.
It's an excellent job. It's almost like synchronized swimming. You're seeing Diaz at second base. He's watching Ifrig at third base. I thought it was a smart move. Probably would have been chopped down at home. Could have been worth the roll of the dice, but excellent awareness by the freshman to see that there was no chance, or at least he felt like there was no chance of him getting home. That's a situation. You don't get coached at third base on how to steal home or take home on a pass ball. You have to have instincts. I thought he made the right decision.
Then a ground ball to short ended the inning. Smith ahead in the count, 2-0 against Pruitt. Three and 0. Strike 1. Smith walked in the second. Three and 2. That's out of play. We'll do the 3-2 again. Kentucky has put 19 runs on the board as they play in their third game of the Lexington Regional. 10 against Western Michigan, 6 against Illinois, and 3 in as many innings against Indiana State. Good battle back by Pruitt. Fell behind 3-0. Ends up getting the strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts for Pruitt. 1 down.
Now stepping in the plate for the
ESPN is the home for the NCAA College Baseball Regionals. For around-the-clock multi-game coverage, scan the QR code below. ESPN Plus subscribers can access expanded coverage with Squeeze Play. Everybody involved when Waldschmidt comes to the plate.
That was a great out by Pruitt there for his confidence as well. Hadn't had much success, has been kind of erratic. As you mentioned, started off 3-0. Just want to see that grit, the willingness to battle. That's what you're seeing from him now.
Waldschmidt out of play. One and two the count. I'm beginning to think Pruitt is motivated to keep those kids behind the plate calm. That's not going to work this time, though, as Waldschmidt rewards his fans. They think they had a hand in it. They might have. There's a single for Waldschmidt. That is his 5th hit of the regional.
Love it when everyone comes to the park. No, they have a role in the success of their team. You see the kids back there taking it personal.
Well, we started with 4. Now we've doubled it.
It's a party.
Petrie walked and scored in the first, grounded out in the third. Takes ball 1. One and one. Petrie stretched his on-base streak to 34 games with that walk in the first inning. Consistent at the plate, getting on base, and far above average in the field. SEC All-Defensive Team for a second time. Consistent in many ways. He's the only Wildcat to have played in every game this year. He has started every game. Line drive to the shortstop, throw on to first, and a double play. Diaz to Hernandez, and that will do it for the start of this tournament. You know you're going to get the runs. Your pitching has been solid. If you get defense, you're going to be really dangerous. You have to like what your team has done defensively yesterday carrying over into today.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when Mason's got a sinker going, and you know, when we're going good and he's going good, the infield defense is involved, and so far that's been the case, and got to keep it going. How about this atmosphere, man? Look at all these people. Big Blue Nation, they just sat there and wore the rain for our guys, man. It was awesome. So thankful for them.
Nick, you took the words out of my mouth. That was going to be the question. How does it feel to be in this environment, hosting this regional with an opportunity to host a super, and the fan support, even in the elements? I mean, it's really got to affect you guys.
Yeah, and our guys they're absolutely loving it, and they're playing to it. There's no doubt that they're putting even more energy into them. So that part's been good, and been a lot of hard work and a lot of really good players and coaches that have come before all these guys that have helped build this. So happy for this and want to give them something special.
They'd love to watch another game tomorrow, but I think they would take it and say, you know what, let's take Monday off. So we'll see what happens the rest of the day here for you guys as you try to get to the Supers. Nick, we appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Of course.
Good
Thank
luck,
you guys
Coach.
for having me on.
I was going to follow up with what you talked about at the top of the telecast about they probably just weren't sitting there doing nothing during the rain delay. Well, this is a hard shot down the left field line. This is a good start here as Sears will chug into second base with a double. Leadoff double for the senior.
Nice job. This is the pitch in on the hand. Sears gets his hands inside, drives it over the head of the third baseman Daly, right inside the foul line for his second double of the regional, third extra base hit.
Sycamores left 2 in scoring position last inning. They have 1 in scoring position already here in the 4th. Good scoop there by Burks to keep Sears at second. Ball 1 to Listy.
This is one of those luxuries of the artificial surface from a catcher's perspective. He picks that ball like he's at first base, doesn't drop down, try to block it with his chest protector.
2-0.
You see the communication from Burks behind the plate. Takes his mask off, just screams out to his pitcher more, take your time. Just relax.
And now Burks will let out to the mound to talk to Moore. Shortstop Smith, third baseman Daly listening in as well. Kind of along the lines what Nick Mingione just talked about. Throw a sinker, get a ground ball, we'll take care of it. Two 2-0 the count to Listy. Misses again, it's 3-0. There's a strike, 3-1. Chop to the left side, and the runner from second is tagged out. First out of the inning is made just shy of third base. Cardinals sitting there, 1 away.
Yeah, this is definitely a huge faux pas for Sears, and he should know better. Being a third baseman, any ball that's hit to your right, you gotta hold at third base. I think maybe he thought that that was gonna bounce over the head of Daly, and he would have an opportunity to score, but that's a great heads-up play by Daly at third base, but you can't afford to have that kind of miscue, especially for a senior. Tough break for the Sycamores there.
You know the margin for error is pretty thin when you're taking on the SEC regular season champs who are the number 2 overall seed in the tournament. You cannot run into outs like that.
That's right.
Especially when you're hanging tough here. It's the 4th inning, you're down just 3 runs. Got to try to scratch a couple across here. Certainly make more work a little bit.
Yeah, because now
next pitch will be a 60th.
You're in a situation where you can let Mason Moore off the hook if McGill grounds into a double play right into the hands of the Wildcats.
Check on Listy at first.
Dominic Listy does have good speed, only 2 stolen bases in 4 attempts on the season.
Foul tip into the mitt of the catcher Burks. 2-1. Base stealing is not Indiana State's thing. 33 stolen bases on the season, 1 for 2 in the regional. Compare that to the 113 successful stolen bases for Kentucky. Ground ball to second. The flip to short 1. Smith tiptoes over and throws it on to first. And I think they're calling the runner at second safe. So it is not a double play. Listy safe at second. But they do get the out at first, 2 down.
Not sure if they're going to review this here. This is a great play. Quick transfer by Petrie at second, but the runner's on the move. A little run and hit action. Yeah, he's safe right there. You can see The shortstop, Grant Smith, has to avoid the runner there, so opts to try to tag the back part of the base. I thought initially maybe Petrie had a chance of taking that himself and trying an unassisted double play. Good hustle by Listy.
As you pointed out, not a lot of stolen bases for Listy, but that speed came in handy to get to the base to beat the force. Popped up left field, moving over is Waldschmidt, and he's got it to retire Pottinger and retire the side.
Seems like this game has been dominated by the Wildcats, but it's only 3-0. Still in striking distance. They haven't really been able to separate themselves, but a lot of those defensive gems have quieted down the opportunities for the Sycamores. Kind of get the feel, maybe it's the energy, I don't know, but you feel like this is like a 6-0 game when it's really 3-0, and Sycamores have knocked on the door of cutting that lead several occasions.
Well, give credit to Pruitt because it looked like Kentucky was going to get some separation there in that third inning when Pruitt hit McCarthy with a pitch and the bases loaded, but he came back, got McCoy to strike out, and then got a double play that we just showed you from his defense to end the fourth inning. So it looks like he's settling in a little bit. Very important for him to keep it right here, 3-0 game, because yes, I agree, it gives you that feeling of this doesn't feel like a 3-0 game, and once Indiana State feels like this is a game we can win, perhaps things change a little bit for them as well. But right now it's Devin Burks at the plate with a 2-2 count.
And they scored 7 runs in the third inning in game 1 today, and 4 more in the 8th inning, so they can put them together in bunches.
Burks grounds out to second for the first out of the top half of the 5th inning. The NCAA Men's College World Series begins Friday, June 14th, the 45th consecutive year it's on ESPN. And for the 22nd straight year, every game is on ESPN. Finals begin Saturday, June 22nd from Omaha. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Ball 1 to Nick Lopez, who's 1 for 2 today. Singled and scored in the third. Grounded out to first in the first. (2-0) to Lopez, of course, was with USC last season, was hitting down in the lineup for the Trojans, and has been an impact player for this Kentucky program. First team all-conference. Nick Mingione talking about the leadership he's brought to this team. (2-1). Grounded right side. Glove by Urdaneta. Over to Hernandez, 2 down. I'll bring up Mitchell Daly, who's 1 for 2 today. He's had a really good regional, 5 for 10 with a couple of doubles for the Wildcats. Ball 1 to Daly. It's kind of like whack-a-mole behind the plate now. Are we up to like a dozen kids? There they go. They're down. Everybody down.
Got to keep the kids engaged. Feel like they're part of the game.
I feel like they're looking up the stairs. Someone's giving them the evil eye. We'll have to see if this lasts long. Foul back, 3-1.
The problem is because they're right behind home plate, and they're opting to stand up right when the pitch is crossing the plate, there's a few people that probably lose their view of the pitch and swing. So
those don't look like the cheap seats to me.
no.
Ground ball too short. Diaz over the first. 1-2-3 inning for Jacob for the third straight time. But Mitch, just watching your team and how you're handling things, I don't sense there's any pressure. I know the scoreboard is in your favor right now, but what's the vibe down there for your team and in your dugout?
Well, I think we had an opportunity there last inning, and we run into an out there. We needed to score. One of these opportunities, we got to score. Can't keep letting them sit there. You know, we're chasing threes hard enough against these guys. We can't let them get any more away from us.
Coach, you talk about chasing the 3 runs. It seems like based on the energy in the stadium that this game is further apart, but you got to feel at least a little bit more settled in the fact that you're just down 3 runs. What adjustments do you guys have to make offensively to get some more runs plated?
Well, the sad thing offensively is I don't think their starter's been real sharp. That's what's been disappointing so far, that we're sitting here down 3-0. But I do think we got to do a better job of getting pitches in the zone. I thought we chased there the first few innings. I thought we expanded the zone a little too much.
All right, Mitch, we'll let you get back to work. We really appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks
so
guys. Appreciate you.
Coach. Good luck.
Mason Moore ready to work, so we'll let Mitch get to work as Ifrig goes to work. Well, if you think about it,
interesting that he pointed out, Eric, about Mason Moore maybe not having his best stuff, because I feel like as a player, you also recognize that. It's one thing for the coach in the dugout to recognize, exceptional stuff. It's another thing to be a batter in the batter's box, and sometimes that can push you to be a little bit more aggressive, get outside of your game plan, your strike zone awareness, etc. So it fits all together in his assessment of not just more stuff, but what his guys are doing or not doing in the batter's box.
2-2 to Ifrig, who singled and was left stranded at third, back in the third. Remember, there was a pitch that got away from Devin Burks, the catcher. Ifrig got halfway down the line, slammed on the brakes and turned around. Damon's analysis is that was the right decision, that he would have been out at the plate, but it's just so close for this Indiana State team. Do you push it? Do you get more aggressive? Was that the problem for Mike Sears, who had the leadoff double in the fourth, and then he got too aggressive on the base paths and was tagged out trying to go to third with nobody out? Ifrig's aboard again. Good job by the freshman. Leadoff man is aboard for the 4th time tonight. That's got to feed into what Mitch is talking about too. You get the leadoff guy aboard 4 of the 5 innings, and so far you don't have a run to show for it. That's a miss.
You're exactly right. See the body language there by Moore, trying to talk himself into getting back in the zone. They say you're not crazy if you talk to yourself, Eric, just if you answer. So he's not answering himself, so that's a good sign.
I think something's probably wrong with the electronic communication system here for Devin Burks.
And you've seen him look over to the dugout on numerous occasions, more than normal. There must have been something going on for the last couple of innings.
He goes with the audio piece of it. You'll see he's got the wristband on as well, and other catchers might look at the wristband. He also works in the old school manual signal to the pitcher as well. Another layer of what they want to do against the batter. Did he pull it back, or Dinetta did, according to our third base umpire, Brian Miller. Ball 1.
See him square around for the drag bunt. Ooh.
It's close.
That last little jab, he didn't recognize the breaking ball until the last minute, pulled it back. Could have been called either way.
Popped up, out of play. It's 1-1. Urdaneta struck out in the third. He's 2 for 13 in the regional. Those 2 hits came earlier today in the first elimination game of the day for Indiana State. Urdaneta slaps a foul. They played in an elimination game yesterday against Western Michigan, won that 6-4. So here is their third elimination game of the tournament. Interestingly enough, in the Missouri Valley tournament, they played 3 elimination games. The third and final one was against Evansville in the title game, won by Evansville 8-6. And we all know what Evansville has done so far in the tournament. That one's going to head out of play. It looked like perhaps it was going to stay in for a moment, but it's up into the crowd.
Happy kid with a souvenir.
That's
there.
Happiness right there.
High five.
Yes. Wow. The 1-2. 2-2. I think you've noticed a couple of things too, Dana. Maybe this is what Mitch Hannes picks up with Mason Moore. You talked about he was talking to himself a little bit. We've seen him catch glances to the dugout once or twice. And he just doesn't have the command that we're used to seeing. We mentioned before that he's struggled with control at times. 42 walks on the season, the team high coming into this start. His team high 16th start of the season. Down low, back-to-back walks. The number 8 and number 9 hitter walk to start the 5th for the Sycamores. Bullpen going to work for Kentucky. Cameron O'Brien and Jackson Novi getting loose.
Thing I could think of maybe, Eric, is that they want to bring in the lefty Novi, and the next batter is Parker Stinson. So
this is a leap of faith, though. Yeah, I mean, you think about it, Dan, and here's one guy who has handled more so far with those 2 hits and the 2 at-bats, and he's got 7 hits in the regional. And a 32-game hitting streak, by the way. He is locked in.
He's going to live on the outside part of the plate. Don't think he wants to make a mistake on the middle inner half the way we've seen Diaz's ability to pull the ball down the third base line.
Three and one. Like Diaz got a pitch he wanted. Couldn't do anything with it, though. 3-2.
A little anxious there. If he'd made contact, that might have went in the third base dugout. Way early on that pitch.
Big Blue Nation trying to help Mason Moore. Called strike 3. Sycamores are going to have a beef with that one. One away.
This pitch definitely looks out from our vantage point. Excellent job of framing by Burks behind the plate. I think Diaz has a solid argument there. Tough.
So Moore stays out there against the left-hand-hitted Stinson. Stinson 0 for 2 against Moore today. 2 for 14 in the regional. Off of Burks, and 1 runner will advance as Ifrig takes third, but Urdaneta hangs it first.
Good heads-up base running as Urdaneta explaining to the first base coach. And that ball's coming towards first base.
Yeah, but
It's
he's got to
actually a
get the
closer
second,
throw.
though. Doesn't
Yeah,
he have to
you
get
think
the second?
so, but-
Double play still in play now.
Yeah, the only thing you don't, first you got to recognize whether or not Ifrig, a freshman, hadn't had much experience, whether he would go to third before you go to second. The ball, carom off of him.
Some
Tough
fly
decision.
ball to shallow left field. Waldschmidt, and going out as the shortstop, Grant Smith out of nowhere to make the catch. Where did Grant Smith come from? 2 down.
What a play by Grant Smith. This definitely is Waldschmidt's ball out here. As high as it is, he's playing relatively deep, but diving play, disregard for his body, and then the awareness and body control to get up, throw the ball quickly in. Maybe another opportunity for Ifrig to tag up at third. A missed opportunity again for the Sycamores there, but outstanding effort and big play by the shortstop.
I don't think
Mingione
Ifrig
says he's the best shortstop in the country. I'll get some votes for that play.
More great defense from Kentucky. Here's Hernandez. In there for strike one. I don't think Ifrig during that split second, he's looking at Waldschmidt coming in towards the infield with all that momentum, shallow left field. He's like, I'm not going. And then all of a sudden, you've got that in your mind, and here comes the shortstop who's going away from the infield. And like you said, a freshman out there, you got to flip your mind that quickly and try to tag and go. I think it just caught him off guard. It caught everybody off guard, including Waldschmidt, that Smith came flying in. You saw where he was when the pitch was thrown. He was back behind second base just about.
And the only thing, maybe he couldn't really get a good view of who caught the ball. You know, I mean, if you, like you said, with the Waldschmidt coming in full speed, if you just blink, you might have thought that he made the play on the ball until it was actually caught, and by that time, it's too late. Man, what a big play for the Wildcats.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Hernandez. Crowd energized now. Ground ball to third. Daly over to first, scooped up by the first baseman, Nichols.
Status quo as we are here. Kind of look back and think about the missed opportunities, base running error, runners left on base, runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs, where the clutch hit was needed. Still good amount of baseball left to be played, though.
Strike one to McCarthy. Hit by a pitch that brought in the run his last time. That was in the 3rd inning. Kentucky scored 1 in the 1st. Petrie walked. Went to 3rd on an error by the pitcher Gilly, trying to pick him off first, and scored on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Burks. Nicholson, with 1 out in the 2nd, hit a 435-foot home run. And then in the 3rd, Kentucky loaded the bases. Lopez would score when McCarthy was hit by the pitch. Urdaneta to first. McCarthy's retired. 2 down. 6 in a row now retired by Pruitt, who has settled down after that bumpy 3rd inning.
The key for Pruitt and his success, he had ground out to second, ground out to second, ground out to shortstop, pop out to center field, and ground out to second. Pitch to contact, maybe a little different mindset than what he brought to the mound in his first appearance in this regional. So settling down is just let your defense play for him. You see Pruitt with a smile on his face. Smile on his face out there. He recognizes this is, you know, the example of icing a kicker, I guess, in football. Got a hole whole bunch
McCoy.
to talk about in the 6th inning.
Yeah, McCoy getting ready to bat with 2 down. Just thinking back on that play by Smith last inning, Ifrig was kind of caught a little bit off the base in no man's land. You know, we're talking about tagging up. You know, we saw in the replays, he was off the base when the catch was made. We were in shock that Smith's the one who got over there. Now, we know Smith makes plays, but I think Ifrig got caught. Well, is that going to drop? Because here comes the left fielder making a long run. So, again, just trying to play out like it's a 3-0 game. These runs that they've missed out on these last couple of innings, all these opportunities missed are adding up because we're getting later and later in the game. I mean, you want to give all credit to Smith for making a crazy good play. You know?
And the tough thing is that if that ball drops, and let's say Waldschmidt tries to deke him like he's going to get to the ball, but it drops and he's able to catch it on a clean one hopper, there's still not a guarantee, as close as Waldschmidt would be to the infield, that Ifrig would be able to make it home even on a conventional single blooper out to left field. So it's not a bad decision by Ifrig at third base. It's just another tough decision that, you know, hindsight is 20/20. You just don't know if rolling the dice there as well as earlier in the game would have fell on the side of the Sycamores.
Right. If at that moment that Smith caught it, Ifrig was tagging up, which he was not. He was still a couple of steps off the bag, and he was trying to scramble back to the bag as Smith got it. But Smith recovered quickly, got up on his feet, threw home. Another 1-2-3 inning for Pruitt. Still 3-0.
0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, have left 6 runners on base in this game.
They had first and third in the 5th inning. Diaz was at the plate. He struck out on a pitch that looked borderline. Stinson then with that fly ball to left where Smith made the fantastic play, and then the ground out by Hernandez ended the threat. But Indiana State has been threatening time and again here in Lexington. Can they get anything over the plate? And how long does Mason Moore stay on the mound for Kentucky is another question. 92 pitches now for Moore.
I'm surprised that they left him out there. You consider he got the backwards K against Randall Diaz, was able to pitch himself out of that jam. You've got some dangerous bats coming up. Sears, one of them, right here. We've seen what these guys can do. Let's remember the 7-run inning in the 3rd in game 1 today for the Sycamores all got kicked off with Pottinger, the 7-hole, starting it off.
Daly snares it. Another great defensive play for Kentucky. One away.
How about the reflexes, the reaction, awareness, and a strong throw to first base. Another great play. Nicholson over there making things look easy on the short hops.
Here's Dom Listy, who's been on base twice, walked and reached on a fielder's choice. He's been stranded at second twice today. Kentucky trying to join the Virginia Cavaliers in the Super Regional round. Cavs punched their ticket to the Supers with a 9-2 win over Mississippi State in the Charlottesville Regional, so that regional is now done. I just missed Listy. It's 2-1. Kentucky win here. They're in the Supers. Sycamores win. These two teams will play again tomorrow in a winner-take-all finale. Bottom drops out of that one, 2-2. One of the best pitches of the night for Moore.
And there you see a pumped up Burks behind the plate, tapping tapping into the emotional aspect, trying to get his pitcher fired up.
Listy checked his swing, and it's 3-2.
And you see breaking ball down. Excellent job holding back by Listy. Nice job by the third base umpire, Brian Miller.
Swung at ball 4. Moore gets the strikeout, and he's still fired up after that last inning. 2 down.
Again, breaking ball out of the zone. There you see Burks shows the umpire, takes a little time to get that ball around first fist pump, and throws it around the horn for the second out of the inning.
I'll give Devin Burks credit. He is engaged every single pitch with that energy and that just that pumped up feeling. Like every pitch, before the pitch, after the pitch. And Moore's thrown 102 pitches, and he's been locked in with this kind of enthusiasm each and every pitch.
Well, not that it would happen, but Mason Moore needs to go right to him and give him a hug, because I feel like the last 20-plus pitches has been fueled by that energy from Devin Burks. Like after every pitch he executes, whether even outside of the zone, he's getting a fist pump, something said to him, that adrenaline passing on.
Grounded foul by McGill.
If he gets this out here, watch Devin Burks. There he is, even talking to the dugout. Love that energy. That's contagious.
From catcher to pitcher to the full house at Kentucky Proud Park.
He's getting me fired up here.
The 1-2. Another fist bump and another. And here's the 2-2. Strike 3. Indicate that his night is done, but he ended on a high note. Ball 1 to the leadoff hitter, Grant Smith, here in the 7th for Kentucky.
It'd be hard to believe that he could top that performance, that digging down in his gut to fight through that last half inning. Give a lot of credit to Devin Burks there.
Called a strike, it's 1-1. In fairness, that looked like a similar pitch in location to the one that Diaz was rung up on back in the 5th. 1-2 to Smith, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Line shot into right field, a base hit. Pruitt had retired 7 in a row before this leadoff single by Smith to start the 7th.
Definitely got to give some love to Jeremy Pruitt and how he was able to grind through. Still inducing those ground balls. That one just finds a hole between first and second. You may see Ryan Waldschmidt here drop down a bunt. We hadn't seen a whole bunch of that small ball employed by the Wildcats in this regional, but up by 3, maybe try to get another runner in scoring position.
Waldschmidt swinging for a 5-run lead with that cut. Strike 1. Yeah, at first you'd chuckle and say your leadoff hitter, Bunting, who hit a 444-foot home run and has been one of the hottest hitters in baseball, but Nick Mingione says whatever the moment calls for, 1 through 9, could see someone lay down a bunt.
Grant Smith at first base, 5 of 7 in stolen base attempts. McGill has a strong arm behind the plate as well. Not sure you want to test him.
Waldschmidt swinging for the downs again. Waldschmidt was robbed of extra bases in the first by Pottinger. Grounded out in the second and singled in the fourth. His 5th hit of this regional. The 0-2. Up high, 1-2. Got to give a lot of credit to Pruitt on the mound for Indiana State. He has kept this game in reach for the Sycamores.
Oh, yeah. This might be a pitch for Smith to try to swipe second. Breaking ball, maybe.
Waldschmidt hits a fly ball to deep right field. Now the center fielder, Pottinger, moves over. He's got it. 1 down.
Just missed by Waldschmidt there.
Petrie scored the first Kentucky run after walking in the first. Grounded out and lined into a double play.
Here's what
2 for 11
part
in
of
the
the chess
regional.
match is, Eric, when you have a runner at first base and Smith, there's a little bit of a quick pitch there by Pruitt. That's how you can quiet down the run game. But if you opt to try to send Grant Smith here and he gets thrown out, yeah, it's 2 outs. Tough break, but then you still got Petrie, Burks, Lopez coming up. That's why you're going to pay a little bit more of attention here of Smith there at first base. It's just a gut feeling, but it's also part of that game within the game chess match that goes on.
Sycamores think something might be brewing for Kentucky.
May have a run and hit here, so you don't take the bat out of the hands of Petrie.
1-1. One and 2. Pruitt up to 78 pitches in relief of Cole Gilly. Pruitt came on in the second inning with 2 down. Three runs, 6 hits, no errors for Kentucky, the visiting team playing on their home field. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 6 left for Indiana State. Petrie puts a charge into one to deep left field. At the track, at the wall, reaching up, it's gone! Petrie goes the opposite way, 2-run shot, and Kentucky extends their lead.
Wildcats are fired up. 2 runs added for extra cushion as the 2-hole gets it done.
9th home run of the season for the junior from Quebec. 3rd of the regional for Kentucky, and it's another extra base hit for the Wildcats. Grant McGill being granted time so he can make sure he can see, which always helps if you're the catcher.
I think of all people on the field, home plate umpire would gladly give you a timeout for that.
And the batter in the batter's box for Kentucky, the catcher for the Wildcats, Burks. This one is hit out to the left fielder. Coming on and unable to make the play is Listy. Big turnaround first for Devin Burks. He has his first hit of the night and his third of the regional.
It's a tough break for Dominic Listy out there. Gets a ball hit over the fence. We had to retreat. May not have gotten back to his original position. Excellent effort there. Just glances off the heel of his glove. There's a single for Burks.
8th hit of the night for Kentucky. And perhaps the final pitch for Jacob Pruitt after 82 pitches. His night is done. He did all he could for as long as he could. Applaud the effort, young lady. Here's Simon Gregerson, second appearance of the regional.
Junior right-hander, 34 in the third innings, 40 strikeouts and 21 walks. Going to be in the low 90s with his fastball. A 4-pitch guy. Doesn't throw his changeup very often, but he has a slider and a curveball to complement that fastball. He gets to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. There's some momentum on their side. Maybe with the runner at first base, just coming in with a more relaxed approach of throwing himself a ground ball to get out of this inning. So there you see Pruitt, a little emotional there.
Pruitt went 4 2/3, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs. They were earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Faced 21 batters and threw 79 pitches. He did all he could and maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I thought so too. Definitely a better outing than we saw earlier in the regional for him. You know, he's upset. There's a balk by Gregerson. Now you take yourself out of the double play. Cost
The first of the regional that we've had called, a balk on the new pitcher for Indiana State. And Mitch Hanna is going to come out and debate this call.
There was some movement, just not sure.
I think Hannes has to be a little delicate here because
Yeah, you see he comes set, then looks at his digital device to find his pitch. He forgot to do so, didn't disengage.
Hannes could be debating the mechanics of it, who made the call or who saw it, or was time given, or what was happening as well.
Maybe Grant McGill was trying to call timeout behind the plate.
Lopez is 1 for 3 tonight. Singleton scored back in the third. 2 for 12 in the regional with a couple of runs scored and an RBI. Tried to check his swing. That's a close one. Did not check it. 1-2.
There you see Lopez giving him the nod there, acknowledging.
Popped up, back behind the plate. Catcher looking for it and grabbing it. What a little nifty play there by McGill. Looked like he caught it almost belt high as it was on its way to the ground with the third baseman, Sears, coming in as well.
Yeah, it looked like he thought, it looked like as he was tracking it, maybe he was going into the stands or into the dugout. And at the last second, he was able to make the adjustment. Probably could have been an easier play for Sears at third base, but McGill taking control.
Yeah, made a tough play look easy. That's how you become the Valley Defensive Player of the Year twice. So Lopez is retired. Here's Daly. In there for strike one. Daly 1 for 3 tonight, 5 hits in the regional, and 11 trips to the plate. Trying to get the pick off at second. The ball is thrown into the outfield. Another throwing error on an Indiana State pitcher. It was Gilly in the first. And now Gregerson in the 7th.
You got a pickoff move, and Urdaneta tries his best to deke the runner, but watch Burks go back to the base. His head is towards center field, so he knows exactly where that errant ball is thrown and easily able to get to third base. Love the base running technique. As you can tell throughout this weekend, Eric, it's kind of right in my wheelhouse to watch guys, the attention to detail and how to run the bases, how to slide into bases. Great focus.
Oh, you just love that mindset too, that aggressive mindset, putting the pressure on the other team, which is what Kentucky's done so well this season. 1-1 the count to Mitchell Daly. Little high, it's 2-1. Two and two. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and getting the tag is
a 3-pitch guy, fastball, slider, and changeup. Going to be in the upper 80s with that fastball.
All 25
Eric, those
of
two extra runs. I'm sorry, those 2 extra runs really give cushion and allow a pitcher like Novi coming out of the bullpen to relax and not try to do too much as he airmails one right there. Maybe a little bit of adrenaline flowing. Pitch to contact. The defense has been stellar, as you pointed out in this game.
There's a strike. It's 1-1. All 25 of his appearances out of the bullpen. Opponents hitting .242 against Novi this season. Pottinger leading off, 0 for 2 tonight. One and two. Tennessee Volunteers moving on to the Super Regionals. They knocked off Southern Miss 12-3 the final. The Missouri Valley Tournament champions Evansville lost to East Carolina in the Greenville Regional tonight, so they'll need a game on Monday to decide that regional. Bounce to the shortstop, Smith the first, one away. Here's Riley Ifrig with one down in the bottom half of the 7th inning. He's been on base twice. Singled in the 3rd, but was left stranded at 3rd. Walked in the 5th, and again was left stranded at 3rd. Mason Moore with his 6 innings of scoreless work tonight stretches his scoreless inning streak to better than 20 innings, 20 in the 3rd innings. And he was walking the tightrope there for a little while, but I think you make a great point. I think Devin Burks, we saw a couple of conversations on the mound. One when the pitching coach for Kentucky came out, Roselle, and Burks was getting his point across. But it's a lot of positive stuff. It's just a lot of just trying to be there for the pitcher. And again, it's a lot for every single pitch, but Burks has got that energy. And it appears Moore responded. I know you believe that Moore really responded to what his catcher was trying to help him with.
And you can't quantify that kind of leadership. I mean, I'm sure if you talk with Nick Mingione and the pitching coach Dan Roselle, they'll tell you, like, we don't need to, and I remember from my perspective as a youth coach and then a player, like, you don't always want to have a coach come to the mound or meet with a player in the dugout between innings. Like, you need somebody or a multitude of people on the diamond that are willing to call a timeout. We talked with Dan Hartleb. He said Cal Haza is that guy, the shortstop for the Fighting Illini. You can tell that Burks is one of those guys for the Wildcats here. Like, Coach, we don't need you the entire game. We need some of your tutelage during the week and in preparation before the game. But once the game starts, we can handle a lot of this.
Two, 1. 2-2. Urdaneta with a slow roller to third. Knocked down and an error on Daly with 2 down here in the 7th.
Little billiard shot down to third base and got a little tough spin there. You can see he got a little crossed up with his footwork there. But quickly after he gets the ball back to Novi and gives him some encouraging words. That's what you see with this entire lineup. Like, there's nothing negative about them. The body language, the communication, facial expression.
To the Supers, Florida State to the Supers, and to the mound now for Kentucky, Cameron O'Brien.
We've seen O'Brien in this regional once, the big right-hander. Going to come in. He's a 5-pitch guy, fastball, slider, cutter. He likes to work against right-handed batters and the curveball and the changeup. He'll be in the low 90s with that fastball. You see his numbers: 33 strikeouts in 26 2/3 innings.
O'Brien came on in game 1 for the starter against Western Michigan, Dominic Nyman. Working now with the runner on and to the dangerous Diaz with 2 down in the 7th. Strike 1. Diaz singled in the 1st, again in the 3rd, struck out looking in the 5th. Oh, 2. That 5th inning is when Indiana State had one of their handful of chances to get on the board. 2 on, nobody out. Diaz struck out. Smith made the great catch on the pop-up by Stinson, and then the ground out by Hernandez. The 0-2 from O'Brien. And it's gloved by Petrie to retire the side. Positioned in the right spot. We've played 7-5-0 Kentucky.
Big fly there. And here we stand, 5-0 in the top of the 8th.
We don't want to
Petrie
miss a
had that
pitch, but we also don't want to miss the full scope of the home run celebration with the dugout all out in front there. So well done by our Lexington control room, producer Daniel Gibbons, director Seth Payne, our entire crew, who have done awesome work over these 3 days. Fought through a couple of delays today. And I would like to thank the Kentucky dugout for bringing the cap stack back.
He's rolling the dice. You can't touch it. You
got to make sure it's secure before you start the clock.
I mean, look how long his arm is. Like, to get up top of that, like, I can't even grab a bowl off the top shelf.
When do you know that when you bring the arm down for good, that's when we start the clock. So we got the cap stack, brim front, brim back, alternating to the pink fuzzy bucket hat.
So does that mean like that's the top? You can't add any more hats? They probably don't have any more hats
That's
in
the
the
cap.
dugout.
That is the top.
And you got Spider-Man back
approves. Yep, Tex approves. We've got a lot of approval here going on in that Kentucky dugout.
There's a lot going on.
With the cap stacking, we've got the shades on as well for the extra cool factor.
Dual-colored mustaches.
We're checking a lot of boxes. The flip over to the pitcher to retire Nicholson for the first down of the 8th inning. Now, see, now this is a cheat. Oh, wait. Are we taking the pick off? Yeah. Okay. Well, when we add a hat, that resets the clock.
And he's moving, too. Like, look how long. Like, he's got to have a 6'10" wingspan to be able to reach all the way up, straight up over his head.
Amazing wingspan.
Yeah, no mirror.
Perfect posture. What do you think his respirations are right now? Like his rate? Like I literally think he's breathing maybe twice a minute, and his heart rate might be in the 40s right now. That's how cool he is, and that's how cool you have to be to keep that balance there.
He's definitely in Wusa mode.
Ground ball to third. 2 down here as McCarthy is retired. And now the cowboy hat's coming off. Now, move your arms. Move that 6'10" wingspan like your dugout mate. No, he's committed. He is committed to the task at hand.
Minimal movement. He is not going to wave his hands in the air like he just doesn't care.
Because then you'll have an armful of hats to pick up.
And then everybody will be disappointed in you. You will have let your team down. There's a whole lot of pressure.
And James McCoy take a pitch here because I want to do a cap stack count here to see if we're. All right, thank you, James. Can we do a count? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going by brims. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Pink fuzzy is 21. Are we on the same page here?
Yeah, I think I might have counted one extra, but yeah, we're right around 2021.
Fouled back by McCoy with 2 down here in the 8th. I don't know what the cap stack record is. I think there's a few things that are in play. It's the amount of time it stays on your head. You know, he's reset the clock a couple of times. He has not changed his facial expression one bit. Not one bit. Swung on a miss, foul tip into the glove, held on to, and a strikeout for Gregerson, and that ends the inning, and that ends the cap stack, and now you can breathe. Right now, Kentucky in control, on top 5-0 as we play the bottom half of the 8th inning in Lexington. Ground ball up the middle, past the slide of Grant Smith, and it's a leadoff single for Parker Stinson. That's his first hit of the night and his 3rd of the regional. One arm that we would expect to see tonight if Kentucky gets in that position is Robert Hogan, who threw a ton of strikes, pitched really well, 50 pitches in that win against Western Michigan. He had a day of rest yesterday, so we think Hogan is available. In fact, I think everybody but Hagenau is available in the bullpen. And Hagenau, by the way, we found out we weren't quite sure because of the shades and the stoic look. The cap stack model was Hagenau. This is grounded left side, foul ball.
little acknowledgement there from Daly, the third baseman, even though the fans thought it was fair.
Oh, 1-2 Hernandez. 0-2. 0 for 3 tonight. 3 for 14 in the regional. 1-2. O'Brien came into tonight's game 10 walks, 33 strikeouts in his 26 2/3 innings of work, holding opponents to a .235 batting average, and he gets a strikeout of the dangerous Hernandez, 1 down in the 8th.
This is an excellent job. He takes a little bit off of this pitch right there. That's that cut fastball. Works off the plate. Great execution right there for the first out.
Ball 1 to Sears. 1 for 3 tonight, doubled in the 4th. One and one. Two and one. What was your favorite moment tonight in the Kentucky dugout? Was it the cap stack or was it the exploding bubble gum over the face?
Or you had the flexing. Man.
Was that flexing? Was that technically flexing? Semi-flexing.
They thought it was. So
as long as you believe it, right?
Got to encourage your youth nowadays. But I would probably say the commitment to the bubble. The fact that he had it. Literally exploded in his face, and then he went back and for another round. So you love the commitment there.
3-2 the count
right there
to Sears. That misses. Ball 4, 2-1 with 1 down for the Sycamores. Just in case you need your memory jog, this is what happened. Epic bubble.
That's the first round, successful, and then
this back for more.
Yep, back for more. Then this one
and
is.
Then, oh no!
Gets mummified a little bit right there, and he must have either got a new hat or he was successful in getting all the shrapnel off of that one.
Or he's a ball player and he just picked all of the stuff that had picked up the fuzz off his hat and just put it right back in his mouth and didn't act like anything had happened.
Like a new age lint brush.
Dom Listy 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Sliced foul, and it's 0-2. Swung on and missed. Strikeout for O'Brien, 2 down.
Excellent breaking ball here for O'Brien. Just drops off the table, and there you see the energy from Devin Burks behind the plate. And you gotta love that.
Yeah, if I gave you 3 choices. Yeah, if I gave you 3 choices, your favorite thing tonight, the bubble gum, the cap stack, or the reactions and the work of Devin Burks, I think you are going with Burks as your winner here because you just love watching how he's engaged. I think you love that kind of football mentality too because you played both sports at Iowa. Like you just see it.
Yeah, and not everybody has that. The game of baseball can be a little bit more relaxed, but I think you have to have a good complement of that kind of energy. I mean, Burks is engaged in every single pitch, and that's what you're going to be regardless as a catcher. But as far as firing everybody else, not just the pitcher, yeah, that's a football mindset, I think, and well received in most successful baseball dugouts.
Gives O'Brien the point, who's ready with the 0-2. The 1-2 to McGill. 2-2. Called strike three. 3 strikeouts in the inning.
And then came through with the clutch homer. Didn't look like he got all of that, but enough to park it over the left field wall. 2-run bomb gave him a little bit more cushion and comfort with this 5-0 lead.
Grant Smith to lead things off at the top of the 9th for the Wildcats. They win, they move on to the Super Regionals. Fouled off by Smith, and it's 1-1. Walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, singled and scored on the Petrie home run in the 7th. Two and 1. LSU with 2 elimination wins today, Danon. They beat Wofford. They were down 6-3, remember, in that game? 13-6 LSU to win the final. Yeah. And then they beat North Carolina and Chapel Hill today, so that means a Monday showdown coming up. That's in there for a strike, 2-2. Also a Monday matchup with everything on the line between ECU and Evansville. After ECU beat Evansville tonight, 19-6. Clemson advanced to the Super Regionals. First trip to the Super since 2010 for the Tigers. Down goes Smith, 1 away. K-State going to the Supers. That Fayetteville Regional, crazy. Southeast Missouri knocked Arkansas out of the tournament, and then K-State beat Southeast Missouri tonight. So Wildcats win in Fayetteville.
First time in Supers since 2013.
Florida State won the Tallahassee Regional, NC State, the Raleigh Regional, Tennessee, the Knoxville Regional. Talked about Virginia winning in Charlottesville, knocking Mississippi State out of the tournament tonight. Still a lot to be decided tonight, so squeeze play is going to be the place to be as we go along. They had weather in Norman today, so taking a while to get things sorted out there with UConn in the driver's seat. Trying to pull the upset, the Huskies. Santa Barbara taking on Oregon. This is slapped out to right field, and it's a foul ball off the bat of Waldschmidt. 1-2. Keeping an eye on Corvallis, as we mentioned. Irvine taking on Oregon State. Grand Canyon and West Virginia meeting in Tucson after Arizona got eliminated. Georgia and Georgia Tech have been in a battle, and Georgia just walked it off in Athens to advance onto the Super Regionals. In extras, by the way. So the 16-team Super Regional field continues to take shape. Chop to short. Got to hurry. Skipping to first in time. Waldschmidt is retired. Diaz to Hernandez, 2 down. Waldschmidt doesn't want to leave first base here. Is Mingione going to challenge it?
I don't think they've used the challenge in this game yet, so they have 2. It's top of the 9th, it'd be the second out. They're going to go ahead. Excellent play by Diaz at shortstop, charging his ball, quick transfer. Ooh. I think they got him at first base. Let's see. Yep.
Another good stab by Hernandez at first.
And again, it does not have to be squeezed by the glove, just has to be in the webbing, inside the leather. You can see, I think just from each of those angles, that he's about less than a half a step short of being safe there.
Top 5-0, which is our current score. They led 3-0 after 2.5. Great job by Jacob Pruitt out of the bullpen for Indiana State.
Yes.
Kept Kentucky scoreless for the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, but Petrie got to him in the 7th. Petrie, 2 seconds. Urdaneta over to first. 1-2-3 inning for Gregerson. Last chance for the Sycamore. Indiana State. Cameron O'Brien still out there working to Pottinger, Ifrig, and Urdaneta due up here for the Sycamores. And there's strike 1. One and 1. Pottinger 0 for 3 tonight. Fouled out in the 2nd. Fly to left in the 4th. Grounded out in the 7th. One and 2.
Eric, you got to feel like these fans are ready to explode. What they had to endure as far as weather and delays today, still coming out in droves. They're able to hold on. This is going to be an exciting atmosphere next week for Supers.
Pottinger with a fly ball, foul ground, and sliding over, but it's into the net. Daly giving a good effort. Two and 2. Ball 3. They are ready to celebrate in Lexington, but you cannot celebrate till the final out. Out of play. Indiana State lost game 1 to Illinois, battled back in an elimination game against Western Michigan to win 6-4. That's a called strike 3. Pottinger thought he had ball 4. Up in the zone, a shake of the head, 1 down. 3 straight strikeouts now for Cameron O'Brien.
Definitely too close to take here. A little bit up in the zone, but Looked like a strike to me, and you see that energy from Burks behind the plate. O'Brien with 4 strikeouts on the evening. 1 down here in the 9th.
Here's Riley Ifrig. Strike 1. Singled in the 3rd, walked in the 5th, flied out to left in the 7th. Down low, it's 1-1.
Oh yeah, Riley, you don't like that. Right now.
1-2. Freshman for the Sycamores has battled in the DH spot, that's for sure. 2 for 4 earlier today in the win against Illinois. Inside, it's 2-2.
See the acknowledgement there by Burks. Definitely not a bad pitch with the 1-2 count, but good eye by Ifrig.
Just getting a piece is the freshman to stay alive. After giving up
Great
8 runs to
experience.
what's... Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, what a great experience for this freshman. As we've mentioned, didn't play in the first game for the Sycamores, but has been a staple in the lineup at that DH position. Great experience, opportunity for growth for him for next year.
Another 2-2. Another strikeout. 4 in a row for O'Brien. 2 down in the 9th.
The breaking ball working so well for O'Brien there. Another fist pump. I know who's going to sleep well tonight. Devin Burks. All the energy that he's displaying is we got top of the dugout celebration going.
Those 3 guys should.
tonight.
Those 3 guys should sleep well tonight too. They may sleep through tomorrow as well.
They may sleep at the stadium.
Here's Urdaneta with 2 down. Ball 1. Urdaneta struck out in the 3rd, walked in the 5th, and reached on an error in the 7th. The only error for Kentucky in the regional. Pitching and defense has been there for the Wildcats. After giving up 8 runs to Western Michigan in game 1, they have settled in. Gave up just 1 run to Illinois, and they're shutting out Indiana State. 1 out away from a trip back to the Super Regionals. Two and 1. Three and 1. Chopped out in front. O'Brien throws the first, and the Kentucky Wildcats super again. They win the Lexington Regional.
2 runs added for extra cushion as a 2-hole gets it done.
9th home run of the season for the junior from Quebec. 3rd of the regional for Kentucky, and it's another extra base hit for the Wildcats. Grant McGill being granted time so he can make sure he can see, which always helps if you're the catcher.
I think of all people on the field, home plate umpire would gladly give you a timeout for that.
And the batter in the batter's box for Kentucky, the catcher for the Wildcats, Burks. This one is hit out to the left fielder, coming on and unable to make the play is Listy. Big turnaround first for Devin Burks. He has his first hit of the night and his 3rd of the regional.
It's a tough break for Dominic Listy out there. Gets a ball hit over the fence. We had to retreat. May not have gotten back to his original position. Excellent effort there. Just glances off the heel of his glove. There's a single for Burks.
8th hit of the night for Kentucky. And perhaps the final pitch for Jacob Pruitt after 82 pitches. His night is done. He did all he could for as long as he could